Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2018 movie Avengers Infinity War. The movie is directed by Joe and Anthony Russo and written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Um, in this movie, Thanos is trying to collect all the Infinity Stones, so the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers are teaming up to try to stop him. This movie has a lot of different storylines going on throughout the movie. Um, you got Captain America and some of the Avengers on Earth in Wakanda trying to fight off Thanos' children and everything, who are trying to get the Infinity Stone out of Vision's head. And then you got the Guardians of the Galaxy and Iron Man and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in space, and they're also on the planet Titan, which is Thanos' home planet. And then you have Thor, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot, who are trying to get Thor a new hammer and everything so that he can defeat Thanos, because Thanos at the beginning of the movie kills Heimdall and Loki. But this is a really, really good movie. It's the best MCU movie in my opinion, and everything. It took 10 years for this movie to happen, and it really totally lived up to the hype. A lot of times when they build a movie up this much, a lot of times it doesn't live up to the hype. I mean, I think besides like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, I don't think that many movies that have this much hype surrounding them usually live up to it. But this one really did. The cast is excellent in this. It pretty much brings back almost everybody from all the previous MCU movies, with the exception of Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye and Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. Ant-Man's because he has his own sequel that came out after Infinity War was released, and Hawkeye is going to be in Avengers Endgame, but he's not in this one. But the rest of the cast is great. Robert Downey Jr. is perfect as Iron Man, as always. Chris Hemsworth is wonderful as Thor. I think he actually has the best performance in this movie and everything, because there's some really emotional scenes with Thor in this movie. And I think that this was his best performance as Thor. Benedict Cumberbatch is good as Doctor Strange. Like I said, I wasn't a real big fan of the Doctor Strange movie, but I do think the character's alright in this movie. He's not one of my favorite characters, but Benedict Cumberbatch plays him really well. Tom Holland is still perfect as Spider-Man. Chadwick Boseman is great as Black Panther, as good as he was in the last two movies that he was in, Civil War and Black Panther. Scarlett Johansson's great as Black Widow, as always. Elizabeth Olsen's great as Scarlet Witch. Vision. Paul Bettany plays Vision, and he's really good. Chris Evans is great as Captain America. Sebastian Stan's good as Bucky. Don Cheadle is War Machine. Anthony Mackie is Falcon. And they're all really, really good. The Guardians of the Galaxy cast is still really great and work really well together. Chris Pratt did a really great job playing Star-Lord, and no, it wasn't Star-Lord's fault that the events of the movie happened the way it did. Gamora, I think this was probably Zoe Saldana's best performance as Gamora and everything. I like we get to see a little bit of Gamora's backstory and everything. Karen Gillan is great as Nebula, although she doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie, unfortunately. Dave Bautista is hilarious as Drax, as always. In fact, he has one of my favorite lines when the Guardians and Avengers first meet on Titan, and Star Wars, like, I'll ask you this once, where is Gamora? And Iron Man says, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? And then Drax says, I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? It just cracks me up. It really stupid line, but it's like funny stupid, because he's just such a funny character and everything. Pom Klementoff, I think is her name. She plays Mantis. She's still really, really good. Lydia Wright is back in this as Shuri for a brief few minutes. She's still likable in it. Everything. I think she was a lot better in Black Panther, but she doesn't have a lot of time in this movie either, though. So, what is her name? Pepper Potts is in this briefly, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. She's really good for the brief scenes that she's in. Winston Duke is in here as M'Baku. Still does a really good job. He, once again, don't have a whole lot to do, but he's good in here. Danny Guerrera. No, I butchered her name again. Who plays Okio. She is really, really good. Everything. I love how, like, her reaction scene when T'Challa disappears. Everything. Her acting in that scene was just really, really great. Vin Diesel's back as the voice of Groot, and Rocket is back as Bradley Cooper's back as the voice of Rocket. And they're both really great and everything. But the one that, and then of course we get a small appearance by Idris Elba and is Heimdall, and Tom Hiddleston is Loki in one of the most heartbreaking scenes of the MCU when Thanos kills Loki. He may not stay dead, or he might stay dead. It's hard to say for sure if Loki will stay dead this time, but I'm pretty sure he's going to. At least, I know they're making a Loki show, but that doesn't mean that it'll be set after Infinity War. They could easily make it where it's set in between Thor: The Dark World and Thor Ragnarok, where he's ruling over Asgard, pretending to be Odin and everything. I think that would be kind of an interesting way to do the show, or they could have it as some other kind of prequel or something. It doesn't mean he's coming back. If he does, then it's going to be kind of weird, but it's still, the death scene was really sad, and Loki finally redeemed himself, though. I thought that was the one great thing about his death, is at least he redeemed himself after being mostly villain throughout most of his run in the MCU. He kind of became anti-hero in Thor Ragnarok, and a little bit in Thor: The Dark World, but the one that really stole the show in this movie was Josh Brolin as Thanos. He's easily one of the best movie villains of all time, and especially in recent years. I think he's actually even the best movie villain we've probably had since Voldemort in the Harry Potter franchise was introduced in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows in the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but yeah, he's just excellent villain and everything, and he just does a really, really great job, and he fits the character perfectly. Everything. But this movie is really fast-paced, having a bunch of different storylines going on and everything. I was really, really surprised at how well this movie turned out, because having so many characters, there's like tons and tons of characters in this, and they could have made it where the movie sucked really bad, but having all these characters and everything, and give each of them a little bit of their own time to shine, it worked really well. I do think that Captain America and Black Widow were kind of a little bit put on the back burner than they normally would be in the MCU, but it didn't really bother me too much. I mean, I, I like Captain America and Black Widow and stuff, but you can tell they're going to have a much, much bigger role in everything in Avengers Endgame, so everything, I feel like we got more time to shine with Spider-Man and Iron Man and stuff, which I'm, of course, Team Iron Man anyway, so, and everything, but the score for this by Alan Silverstreet is really, really good. It's not the best score in the MCU. I still say I think Black Panther is probably the best out of the scores, but it's still really good. The cinematography in this is really good. It's this cinematography is done by Trent Opalock, who's worked on previous MCU movies. I think he worked on the last Captain America movie, if I remember right. I can't remember which ones he worked on, but and the editing by Jeffrey Ford and Matthew Schmidt is really good. Spot on perfect, pretty much, and everything. The CGI in this is actually really, really good compared to the way most CGI is. I think they did a really great job, and I think Thanos looked really, really great and everything. And but yeah, this was a really, really good movie and everything. I'd give Avengers Infinity War an easy 10 out of 10. It's not only my favorite movie of the MCU, but my favorite movie of 2018, and one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And I think if you were to look up epic movies in the dictionary, or I guess if there was a dictionary or whatever, this one would definitely be one of the top ones to count as an epic movie. I mean, all these years worth of build-up, it paid off perfectly and everything, and it's just an excellent movie. But anyway, that's my review for Avengers Infinity War. I hope you enjoyed this review. If there's any top 10 lists or movie series rankings you want me to do, let me know in the comments. I'll get to them as quick as I can. And I will be doing my review for Ant-Man and the Wasp sometime later this evening and everything, and then I won't be reviewing any more of the MCU movies until Captain Marvel hits theaters next week, and I'll try to have my review for that out next week. But anyway, thank you and have a good day.